yes, Jenny. Just give me a Cowboy loss and put water on me, and I turn into the Super Gremlin. That's what we do, baby.
So, allow me to say, to start this show off, that I was wrong about my Dallas Cowboys. There, is that enough for you? Just take it and run with it.
No. You remember I told you last week?
The show's over.
I said, go ahead and get
End of show. I'm done. I'm out. I quit.
You got to get punished for 2.5 hours for your unruliness all year, 17 weeks. My Cowboys. This is the year.
Bring it on. I am prepared for the worst.
Okay, we're going to see. We're going to see. What about my dude? Hold on, Jenny. Hold on, Jenny. What about my dude, Skip? I need you to tell the people what happened.
I won 10 cases because my Cowboys won the NFC East. And then I bet you 8 cases that my Cowboys would beat those stinking 49ers. And I lost 8, but you still owe me 2. And for the season, you still owe me 37 cases of Diet Mountain Dew, the breakfast of champions, the nectar of the gods. Thank you.
I'm going to get 8 more back on Sunday. Sunday.
Let's do it.
Shannon, what is the biggest reason, in your opinion, the Cowboys lost this one?
Guess who's not upset with the way things played out? The guy that predicted it all year long, Skip Bayless. This is who your Cowboys are. I kept telling you, everybody, there are people that talk about football for a living now that played for this team. Oh, this is different. We have so many players. Even Skip Bayless said, this feels different. I said, Skip, you're setting yourself up for a greater disappointment. And the greater the expectation, the greater disappointment. Now, I told you on Friday, I said, you're going to come in here on Monday and you're going to be crying. Just like 90% of the Cowboys fans were crying in the stands. Did you see how when CBS panned the stands, people were literally crying because you fooled them. You told them they were going to the Super Bowl. Everybody said they're going. Yes, your fault. Because you hype them up. Hold on. Did you say they were going to win 2 games?
Get it out of your system.
Did you say they were going to win some games? This is what
I predicted they were going to go 12-5. What did you say? I said 12-5. Where did they go? 12-5. Thank you. Next question.
I predicted they would be one and done. What did they do? Your quarterback is a roller coaster. He is not a merry-go-round. Merry-go-round goes up, down, up, down. Your guy goes up all over the place. I told you this. You're going to blame it on penalties. Cowboy fans will put it on penalties.
But your team
hold on. Your team was the most penalized team in all of football, penalties per game. They finished 1 yard behind the Oakland Raiders, or they would have led in both categories. Again, going into the fourth quarter, Skip, your offense, number 32 points a game, 407 yards per game, had 7 points, a little over 175 yards. That's what you had. So I don't want to hear anything. What good is all those points that you scored in the regular season, all those yards that you had in the regular season, when you absolutely needed it, you couldn't get a touchdown. You couldn't get a yard. Mike McCarthy says he's never seen a collision. I've never seen a boneheaded, and I told you earlier in the year, Skip, the second game of the season, I said, Skip, he's going to cost y'all a game. I said, it's going to hurt even more because it's going to hurt when you least expect it and you really need him to come through. I said he was overrated from the start. Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers made that guy, and Jerry Jones deserved to have him. And I told Jerry, he should be commended for the work he's done. I wonder if you feel like that this morning. The Cowboys are exactly who I thought they were. Some underperforming bums. They're bums, Skip Bayless, and you know it. And this hurt. I know this would hurt you more than anything because at no point in time since you and I have been doing this show have you felt more confident in your stinking, lousy, no good for nothing Cowboys. And you're going home after what you thought were a promising season. The Cowboys are who we thought they were. And Jimmy G and the 49ers didn't let him off the hook. Now, what about that QBR? I'm going to turn it over to you because I want to hear it in your voice, how it grovels, how you feel, how it's filled with pain, because I know you're hurting. I know you couldn't sleep last night, and I slept like a baby. As a matter of fact, I haven't slept like this in probably a year and a half. I was at such a peace. I was just like, Lord, please let me open my eyes tomorrow and give it to Skip Bayless because he deserved everything that I'm giving him today.
Yeah, you slept like a baby, and now you're making points like a baby. Nah, I got you, little baby, little cry baby. Way to go, Shannon. I'm impressed with your breakdown. You're in the Hall of Fame, I'm not. I can't disagree with any word you just uttered. And by the way, anybody who followed me or somehow came across me last night on Twitter knows I annihilated my team last night on Twitter. I was scathing, and every word that I typed drove it deeper and deeper home that I got Mike McCarthy yesterday in this football game. I knew it all year. I kept telling you we have to win in spite of him. My team yesterday, two things operated. It looked like it was poorly coached and poorly motivated. See Mike McCarthy, as in drop the mic and get him out of my sight. And my $75 million a year quarterback, as he often has during this past regular season, looked like he deserved about $7.50 an hour. And yes, his QBR was 27 after he had averaged a 77 QBR in his previous 3 playoff games, which I thought was extraordinary. And I banked on that. And when I tried to take his $75 million to my playoff bank yesterday, the check bounced. And he bounced me right out of the playoffs, and you say they had to go home. They were at home. They lost a home playoff game to a 49ers team that they are better than. And by the way, I tweeted this late in the first half, and I'm just going to read it again just to drive home all your points. Why does this team always do this to me in big games? Come out deadheaded and fall hopelessly behind. It happens every single big game. They look overwhelmed. They look overmatched. And for now, this is late in the first half, they look overrated. Just makes me want to puke. This is about to be over, and it should have been over at 23-7 down as they entered the fourth quarter. But what does Rain Dakota Prescott always do, Shannon Sharpe? He stinks it up for 3 quarters, and then all of a sudden, he goes warrior. It's always too little too late, but all of a sudden, he snaps out of it and snaps into it, and in the fourth quarter, he was really good. My defense was really good in the fourth quarter because in the second half, we outscored the 49ers 10-7, which is what we should have done in the first half, but we were not ready to play. And the 49ers, as you know, we won the toss and we deferred because we got a big, bad defense. No, you don't. Just take the football and cram it right down their throats. Stick it in the end zone because they've got a running game you cannot stop. So take the ball and do what you do best, which is move and score the football. You go ahead 7-0, and maybe you would have the advantage for the entire game. And instead, you're playing out of a hole, as we always have to play out of a hole. But here we came in the fourth quarter. We buckled down on defense, and we started to click on offense. Would you believe Dak Prescott threw for 111 yards in the fourth quarter alone? He had 143 for the first 3 quarters, and right on schedule, he had 111. Glory be, put him in the Hall of Fame, the fourth quarter Hall of Fame, the Losers Hall of Fame. Okay, so Shannon Sharpe, we had no business being back in this game, but there was a fake punt, obviously. No. And then this happened, and that happened, and this happened, and that happened. I'll get to all that in just a minute. But when I least expected it, when I'll be the first to admit I had completely given up on this game, I look up, and they actually have a chance. And it comes down to one play, and it is now time for me to talk about Ramon George. I never thought I'd be talking about somebody named Ramon George to lead off Undisputed on a big wild card playoff Monday. But I'm going to talk about Ramon George as in RG4 because RG4 should have had us with 4 seconds left on the clock on the last play. So here we go, and you can debate whether it should have been a quarterback draw, but me just personally, I don't know if Mike called it. I don't know if Kellen Moore called it. I like it, actually, because the middle of the field was wide open for the quarterback draw. You have a play clock in your head. They call it a church clock. I have no idea. I've never heard of that. So here we go. Dak's running it down the middle. You obviously have to get down in time to give the umpire time to catch up with the play and spot the football. I thought Ramon George, this umpire in question, was late getting to the play. And again, is he qualified to run with Dak Prescott? You got to come on a dead sprint because the game is about to be over. It's up to you, sir, to get to the football as quickly as they get to the football because they were ready. They were in possession. Yeah, but he got a late start, and I thought he was just late to the play. And not only was he late to the play, he bowls over my quarterback trying to get to the football, which is absolutely hysterically sad. Is
Skip,
what it is.
you got to let him get through, Skip.
Okay,
you got to let him get
he's knocking
through.
the quarterback over. He's pushing Biotish, the center, out of the way to get to the football. All he needs to do is touch the football live. That's all you need is just a touch.
Okay.
And he wanted to kind of re-spot it back a yard. Okay, that's his fault for being late to the play because we were in position to have 4 seconds left on the clock, plenty of time to spike the football and stop the clock. And then we would have had one shot at the end zone from 24 yards away. And I do agree with one thing Mike McCarthy said after the game. And that was, would you rather try a Hail Mary from 51 yards away or 5 verticals, meaning everybody just runs go to the end zone, 5 receivers out from the 24-yard line? Well, I'll take it from the 24-yard line because we saw what Dak did earlier in the game in the second quarter from 20 yards away. He hit Amari with the sweet throw. That was his best throw of the game. You could argue his only good throw of the game for a touchdown. So my point is that, look, we see him. He's just so late to the play. He got a late start. You need to be trailing the play because the game is about to end. You have to give us a last-second chance for a miracle steal of the game. And again, it would have been a miracle. We would have stolen the game. But would I completely bet against Dak Prescott finding somebody open in the end zone for a last-second touchdown pass? That's what he does. That he's better at that than the first 3 quarters of the game. Go ahead.
But let me ask you a question, Skip. Mike McCarthy and Dak Prescott say they practiced this play during the practice. When you practice that play, do you have an official there to spot the ball, or you just having your guy run the ball back and hand it to the center? You know the umpire, so now you're asking the umpire to do something that he doesn't do in any other games. Immediately, once the guy starts running, starts trailing the play. You know they don't do that. Stop asking for something special in this game that officials don't do in any other game. And like Jerry said, we're going to get to what Jerry said. Jerry says, I'm not going to criticize the official because I'm looking at my personnel. Why are we even in that position? Again, Skip.
He would not make that the game.
Right, Skip. But here's the thing. Did the game not go the way I laid it out? I say, Skip, they're going to be able to run the ball because they'll be able to attack all areas of the field with the running game. Me personally, I believe Kyle can dial up the running game better than his father because he can attack areas of the field that we can only attack with TD. He can attack those same areas of the field, not only with his running back Elijah Mitchell, but he can do it with Deebo Samuels. He can do it with Brandon Ayuk. So he has ways to attack the field in the running game that we never could, Skip. And you know we could run the football back in the mid-'90s with Terrell Davis. And I said, Skip, they'll be able to get to your quarterback with their front 4 without having to sacrifice their back end. The thing that helped you is when Nick Bosa went down. When Nick Bosa was in there, he gave Lyle Collins all he could handle. The other guy was giving Tyron Smith all he could handle. Armstead was giving Connor Williams all he could handle. So, Skip, when you look at it, the game played out like I thought it would. And one thing, and you keep talking about the penalties, Skip, when you see the defensive holding penalties that got called, they alerted the officials. They had seen something on tape that happened over a period of time that says, watch 96, watch 94. Because what I know the 49ers do a great job of, because Bobby Turner is the running back coach is there. He was with me in Denver, and a lot of the offensive principles remain the same in that zone running scheme. Skip, I don't want to get too complicated, but they do a lot of scoop blocking. Basically, they take two linemen or a lineman and a tight end, and they scoop up to try to get to a linebacker, or they try to get to the second level. And the defensive linemen hold so the guy can get over the top and make the play. They alerted the umpire. They alerted back judge. Watch this. They do a lot of this, and we saw it. I saw it called 3 times, and I might have saw it called 3 times all season long. But the game played out like I thought it would.
Yeah. Did you think that my defense would hold San Francisco to a mere 138 total yards in the second half? You did not say that. Were we in position
to
have a throw into the end zone to win the game? Yes, we were.
Skip, the only reason you was in position is because Jimmy G gagged. Skip, Jimmy G had Brandon Ayuk wide open for a touchdown on the double move on Stephon Diggs. He threw a short interception that gave you a short field touchdown. Had
Jimmy Gag. You heard it here first.
If the 49ers, Skip, if the 49ers had any other quarterback, they beat y'all by 30. That's how poorly your offense was playing. Your defense did a great job of holding them to field goals, or that game could have got out of hand a lot earlier. But your offense,
I agree.
Dak Prescott, Skip, at some point in time, Skip, you got to look at it and look at his body of work. It's a roller coaster, and it came to fruition in this game.
Okay, well, it hadn't in the 3 previous playoff games because he was really good. He was really not good yesterday.
What did you just say, Skip? You tweeted yesterday, why does my team always start like this come playoff? So it had to be something. He started like this against 21-3 against Green Bay. He started like this yesterday. They started from behind. Okay. Even though they got the lead, they were behind 24-7 and 30 to late in the ball game. So 3 of the 4 games, Skip, they've started poorly.
Okay, so I have raved all year and all last week about all the categories my team led in. I said they led in points, they led in yards, they led in takeaways, they led in turnover ratio, the most telling stat in all pro football. I did sweep under my little carpet underneath me right now that they also led in penalties, and I hope that would not come back to haunt me as my Achilles heel in a playoff game, yet it was, because my team set the franchise playoff record yesterday, 14 penalties. So if we could please see what happened right away, because Dak made one big, hellacious good early throw. It's 3:35 left in the first quarter to CeeDee Lamb, who was a no-show yesterday because Dak has no rapport with him. He caught 1 ball for 21 yards. If we could see the throw to CeeDee, I'm sorry, we don't have this one, but it was a 32-yard completion, and guess what? It got called back because of holding on my weakest link in my offensive line, Connor Williams. When in doubt, throw a flag on 52. Connor Williams, he did it again.
Skip,
throw another flag on Connor Williams.
Did he not tackle him? Did he not tackle Armstead? Did he not tackle the guy?
He did. He tackles a lot of people because he's not very good. Okay, so I got that.
Okay.
So then the classic was, because we deferred after we won the opening toss, we got the ball to start the second half. So we're down 16-7, and I'm thinking, okay, let's go. Let's go stick it in the end zone. It'll be 16-14. We'll have a ball game. And it immediately gets to 3rd and 4 at the 31-yard line. And what do we do in back-to-back plays? Would you believe we go false start and false start? How can you go false start, false start? That's bad football team. That's poorly coached football team. Here we are. False start. Guess who? It was the
entire left side.
It was my Hall of Fame left tackle. And then we come right back again and we go false start again on just about everybody. That's the sign of a bad football team, which leads to this. So we had one chance. This is what we've been doing all year, as you well know. We led the league in takeaways. If we could see the Kazee play, this is later in the third quarter. This is with about 8:39 left in the third quarter. If we could see what happens, Kearse tips a Jimmy G throw, and I thought, you know what, this could be big time. This could go. This is where you take the game over. The ball gets tipped up in the air, and it hits Kazee right on top of the helmet. Well, that's the kind of play we've been making all year long. You can see it hits him right on top of the helmet. If he catches that, I'm here to tell you, I think we win the game, because I think the momentum shifts seismically at that point, and it was one of those days we did not make the play. Okay, so then we got the Jimmy G interception in the fourth quarter, which turns the game around, and then it comes down to there's a 3rd and 12 play at the 37-yard line with 4:36 left in the game. And this is huge, because this is a big throw, big completion, and it looked like we were about to take it home again. If we could see this play, because Neville Gallimore gets illegal hands to the face. This is 3rd and 12 for the 49ers, and it looked like, oh, we almost intercepted it, and I thought, here we go, because they're going to have to punt. Yeah. No, Neville Gallimore has hands to the face. It's huge. Yes. It's just huge. Okay, it's poorly coached, bad football. And again, I blame that ultimately on the quote-unquote head coach, drop the mic, McCarthy. Okay, so now we go down to the 4th down play where we got the false start on, as you know, on Trent Williams. And
Trent Williams.
Then we come.
That's on Jimmy G. And then you got to let him get set. That's on Jimmy G.
Yeah. And could we see the one last penalty, if we could, on Randy Gregory, please? Because there's the Jimmy G gets stuck, and it's a false start. But if we could see this last play on Randy Gregory, this is the worst penalty of the game. This cost us more time, because Randy Gregory, I don't know what he's doing, but he gets upset with the guy who's blocking him, and he decides to tackle him. If we could see this, please. He tackles his guy. He tackles him? What is he doing? And it's just an outrage. That's bad football by a bad football team. So it's hard for me to justify any of this, because I'm saying, what was that? So you keep costing yourself time, because the Neville Gallimore play cost us 2 clock minutes, and this cost us more time, and yet we wind up with, what was it, like 32 seconds left. We finally get the ball back, and to Dak's credit, as Dak always does, you call them garbage yards, but he padded his stats by at least getting us in position to make the last play, and my man, Ramon George, actually tackles my quarterback and disrupts the last play. So any hope I had of a miraculous steal of a victory at the end of the game, as we see here, it got deleted by the umpire. And as Mike McCarthy said, he expected them to at least review it and maybe put a couple seconds back on the clock.
No.
And for some reason, the head referee just said the game is over. Why would the game be over? Why don't you review that? Why don't you go check clock versus what your umpire botched? In the end, I at least deserve one last shot to rectify all of the junk that we just talked about.
But here's the thing, though, Skip. In all those 14 penalties, do you believe any of those penalties were without merit? You just showed the Randy Gregory. You just showed the Neville Gallimore. Gallimore got 2 holdings. I think Neville Gallimore got 2. I think Randy Gregory has 1, or maybe it was vice versa. But was there any penalties that you thought the referee, that the officials threw, that were egregious? Like, that's not a flag. If you go back and look at it, all 14 penalties were with merit. They did the act that the officials said they alleged they did. So, and for you, Skip, Ramon George, I get it. Skip, you make it seem like the guy's supposed to be Tyreek. You do realize these guys are in their 50s and 60s. This is not their full-time job. They do an outstanding job. Yes, they miss calls. They're human. The human, as you said, Jerry said, human frailties. There's a human element in officiating. The guy's running as fast as he can. But what you have to understand is that how he's supposed to, just imagine, if he goes all the way around the left tackle, tries to get in and spot the ball, he's trying to do you a favor. He's trying to jump through a crease. It just so happens that the crease he's trying to the crease that he's trying to jump through, Dak was standing there. So now he has to shove his way through. Tick, 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 tick. So for me, Skip, why are you in this? You told me you're much better than the 49ers. If you're much better than the 49ers,
I didn't say
this
much
game
better.
should not
I just
have
said
even
we're
come
better.
down.
Yeah, we're just
Why
better.
did it come down
we
to
are.
this?
We didn't play better. We didn't play better. We weren't ready. They were ready to play. And in the end, to your point about Ramon George, he's about 50 years old, and he works for J.P. Morgan Chase and private banking. So, you know, they're all part-time. I don't know what kind of condition he's in. He doesn't practice during the week as a referee. He has to fly to a game each weekend. It's a lot to ask of him. He was trailing the play, and he was late to do his job. It's as simple as that.
Well, Skip, before they moved the umpire, you know the umpire used to be on the other side of the ball.
Yeah,
they moved him to the back where the referee is. So now he's at a disadvantage, whereas before he could turn, the play starts, he could turn and trail the play. He's starting from such a distance, and I would like to think there's not an umpire in the league that should be able to keep up with a quarterback unless it's Tom Brady. I would be very offended if the umpire could keep up with Dak Prescott, and by the time he got down there, Skip, he was already ready in place to spot the football. But that doesn't negate the fact that the Cowboys, I told you, hefty bags on Monday. 1, 2, 3 hefty bags. 1, 2, 3 Cancun. Break. I told you this was going to happen. I foretold this day. I foretold it.
Yeah, you foretold it. It's the first thing you got right the whole freaking football season. Congratulations.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.